TIMA members of the Philippines held their 199th free clinic on Bohol Island. We meet Sister Marie-Therese Felder from Switzerland, who offered her services in Taitung, Taiwan for 50 years. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helen Liao. Thank you for joining us. Recently, TIMA members in the Philippines organized its 199th free clinic on Bohol Island, which served a total of 424 patients.
In the Philippines, TIMA members and volunteers have arrived on Bohol Island to hold their 199th free clinic. 53-year-old widow Annabelle Garcia has been living in the dark for the past 5 years due to suffering from cataracts in both eyes.
I'm very happy for my sister as she can see once more. These past few years, she has lived a hard life because of her vision problems.
Thank you, Pastor.
With God's compassion and the help of the Tzu Foundation, I can finally see again.
Happy birthday to you.
The day of the free clinic also happened to fall on Antonina Ligon's 74th birthday. Before the surgery, the medical staff sang her happy birthday.
This is the happiest birthday I have had because I have regained my vision. I am so glad I was able to get surgery.
Besides cataract surgery, the free clinic also offered various medical services, all of which were a big help for these impoverished residents.
I am very glad that Tzu came here to hold a free clinic. They have helped many of our poor and sick.
The very main reason is because they don't have the financial capability to go to the doctors, plus the medicines. This is really a big help.
Tzu's loving care for this area have yet to cease. Instead, the friendship and the local bonds have only strengthened with time.
In the aftermath of the earthquake in Nepal, many residents have begun to clean up the debris around their homes. However, some have sustained injuries while doing so and neglected to seek treatment for the injuries. Volunteers came across one such man at a recent aid distribution and immediately sent him to Tzu's free clinic station for help.
Here at the distribution site in Nepal, volunteers help a man to get some shade, as they thought he was suffering from heat stroke. However, upon closer inspection, they discovered it was a wound on his left leg that was causing him discomfort. Actually, the man hurt himself while cleaning up his home in the aftermath of the earthquake. He delayed seeking treatment and the wound festered. To help, volunteers quickly sanitized the area and removed the dead tissue. Afterwards, Dr. Hong Hongdian dressed the wound and found a bamboo stick for him to use as a cane on his walk home. Dr. Hong reminded the patient to come back the next day for a follow-up. The next day, the patient came back to get his wound redressed.
Now I give you some medicine, but tomorrow you must go to school, go to hospital.
This kind of an injury is difficult for him to change on his own, so I advised him to go to the hospital for a follow-up.
There is only so much the medical team can do for patients. In order for them to fully recover, patients must also take responsibility for their own well-being.
Following the trauma, earthquake survivors in Nepal have been living in unsanitary conditions, which is why Tzu's disaster relief and medical team has carried out headlights removal for residents of Suayambuna. The team subsequently visited the Lishat English School to treat the injured.
Tzu's disaster relief and medical team has come to Monkey Temple to treat headlights. An entrepreneur's daughter, Srishti Dugar, also put on gloves to help.
This is the first time, huh?
Yeah.
All the way up.
This is the first time.
Yeah.
Srishti has brought her friends along to join the ranks of the Tzu volunteers for 4 days and learn much from the experience.
Get in touch with people and know their actual conditions. We know what are the other things that are necessary for them, and working with the Tzu Foundation, we've gone into those details and helped them improve their lifestyle after the earthquake.
Next, Tzu volunteers went to the Lisha English School, where the volunteers brought folding beds and made pillows as they treated the injured. The volunteers work to calm 7-year-old Sean, whose foot wound has become inflamed and needs to be stitched up. Medical volunteers first sanitize their equipment, then work to stitch up Sean's wound. After the doctors dressed his wound, Sean was all smiles, with volunteers delighted to have helped another family in need.
Dialysis patient Ke Tianfu from Kedah, Malaysia first came into contact with Tzu Chi in 2010 when he began undergoing kidney dialysis at the Tzu Chi Dialysis Center. It was in that same year that Ke decided to volunteer on behalf of Tzu Chi. Unfortunately, on June 13, Ke passed away unexpectedly due to illness. At his memorial service, family, friends, and Tzu Chi volunteers came together to say one last goodbye.
我今天来节日很快乐，很多需要帮忙的人咯，所有人要帮忙咯，尽量帮忙咯。
A caring friend with an optimistic outlook on life, this is how Ke Tianfu is remembered by his friends. At his memorial service, several dialysis patients came to pay tribute and bid him a final farewell.
Life is impermanent and there's nothing one can do about it. We can be as fit as a fiddle today and be gone the next day. No one knows what tomorrow will bring.
The photographs of Ke displayed on the screen show how he devoted the past 5 years of his life to caring for other dialysis patients and those around him. His smile will be greatly missed by friends and family.
Although he wasn't good at expressing himself, he has shown us his love and compassion as a volunteer. And during his treatments, he always wore a smile on his face. We will miss him dearly.
At home, he was a strict father. But as we got older, we realized that he was actually acting out of love. Dad, we will always love you.
Ke's sudden passing left those that knew him stunned and saddened by the loss of a great friend.
He's formed good friendships with everyone at the dialysis center. Although he is no longer with us, he has left behind so many wonderful memories to cherish and to remember him by.
He wasn't always this cheerful. When I saw the photos on the screen, he's always smiling so brightly. So thank you.
Although Ke's death came suddenly, he spent his life doing the things he loved most, and his smile will continue to live on in the hearts of all those who knew him.
Next we meet a mother-daughter pair who is partaking in the upcoming sutra adaptation of the Water Repentance Sutra in Malaysia. As they have to go meatless for 108 days, the pair soon ran out of cooking ideas but quickly learned new recipes.
Switching to a vegetarian diet, Shen Jinglian once ran out of cooking ideas.
When I ran out of ideas for vegetarian dishes, I used recipes.
Now Shen is able to cook a variety of vegetarian dishes.
To take part in the musical adaptation, we have to adopt a vegetarian diet to cleanse our bodies. When the volunteer told me that, I said, okay, I'll go meatless.
I think she is mindful about it. She started adopting a vegetarian diet after attending our study group. She is truly a mindful bodhisattva.
Shen Jinglian and her daughter have both joined the rehearsals, and after going meatless, both felt better in body and mind.
After I eat meat, I get stomach cramps. After adopting a vegetarian diet, my stomach feels much better.
I feel very calm after returning from practice. I used to get angry easily, but my temper is better now.
Working to pass on the Dharma teachings through the sutra adaptation, this mother and daughter pair has also built up a new, stronger rapport.
A squad leader with the Taitung Traffic Police Corps, Ling Shengfu, has the job of towing away vehicles in violation of traffic laws and thus is often on the receiving end of the frustrations of bitter motorists. Thankfully, after joining Tzu Chi, Ling has found a way to cope with all the negative emotions dumped on him.
I'm mostly in charge of vehicle impoundment. Violations such as double parking is dangerous and can easily lead to accidents. So I'm doing something good by enforcing the law. Typically, we tow away vehicles that have double parked or are parked on pedestrian walkways and the red zones.
However, violators are never pleased to have their vehicles towed, which makes Lin's job difficult.
In a day's work, I can run into many different situations, which will stir me up inside.
It is hard to keep calm when people constantly blow up at you.
There is really no need to get into a feud with citizens over enforcing traffic laws.
Lin began thinking differently after he started volunteering 8 years ago.
Having gone out there and witnessed the suffering of others, you just can't believe how many people around you are living a hard life.
And thus, no matter how busy he is, Lin always makes time to contribute.
You just got to make room on your schedule and do it.
Tzuji's recycling mission has provided Lin a venue to cope with his stress, even though he always works up a sweat.
I'm happier doing this. There's not much stress here.
His fellow volunteers are all role models for him.
People here come from all walks of life, but they are completely selfless when working here. Some people might have problems lowering themselves due to their status, but we Tzu volunteers are always patient with them.
Through recycling, Lin has learned to humble himself. Every bar he makes is the result of his clean spirit.
Your habit and take on life will all change completely after coming here.
When at work, Lin helps maintain the order of society, and when volunteering, he helps maintain the orderliness of the environment. Still, the two are not the same thing to him.
I'm more serious at work, but I'm here on my own accord. I have to say I'm actually happier serving as a recycling volunteer than being a police officer.
To extend their assistance to the less fortunate in Taiwan, Tzu volunteers in both Taitung and Tainan help their care recipients clean up their dirty and messy home. Let's take a look.
Mr. Yang suffers from the side effects of a brain surgery, and his family is unable to care for him. To help, Tzu volunteers settled Mr. Yang into a nursing home and also came to clean his home.
While Mr. Yang is now staying at a nursing home, his 86-year-old mother, 103-year-old grandmother, and handicapped son still live at home.
After 35 volunteers spent 2 hours washing and scrubbing Mr. Yang's home, the small dark place becomes clean and tidy.
I feel very happy. I'm grateful to the Tzu brothers and sisters.
It seems like we've also cleansed their hearts. The place looks comfortable now.
In spite of the arduous work, the volunteers are happy to see Mr. Yang's family can now live more comfortably. Tzu volunteers also help clean up the home of another family in Taitung, first moving out their large sofa and closet. In moving the furniture, the volunteers had to be skillful because the space was so small. The owner, Mrs. Shen, is ill and likes to leave food out in the open. As a result, cockroaches have become a problem.
The cockroach problem at my house is serious. I'm touched to see the volunteers are not afraid of the cockroaches.
The volunteers thoroughly cleaned all tables and screen windows. After 3 hours of cleaning, the space is tidy and bright once again.
We love the child and his family, so we see their home as our own. Today, we mobilized Tzuji's brothers and sisters from Nantuen district to help clean up.
This man who lives by himself in Taizong's northern district hasn't cleaned his cluttered home for 20 years. Following numerous complaints by neighbors, the borough head asked Tzu volunteers to help out.
The residents complained that they've endured the stench and mess for too long, so we asked the Tzu brothers and sisters to help clean up. I am very grateful.
Thanks to the volunteers' timely efforts, this householder will soon be enjoying a new life in a clean and tidy environment.
In Taitung, Taiwan, over the years, the Chenggong branch of the Sisters of Mercy of the Holy Cross has been offering home care services to those with limited mobility. Besides providing medical assistance, the Sisters also launched an after-school program. But first, we meet Sister Marie-Therese Felder, who has devoted herself to caring for the residents of Taitung for 50 years. At the Kaohsiung International Airport, members of the public have come together to bid farewell to 82-year-old Marie-Therese Felder. In 1965, Sister Felder and her counterparts arrived in eastern Taiwan to provide much-needed medical care. In a blink of an eye, 50 years have passed.
I don't really wish to leave Taiwan, but I have no choice, as I am already more than 80 years old.
To give those with limited mobility the chance to receive quality medical care, Sister Marie-Therese Felder rode her motorbike in and around Chenggong town, offering home care services.
你觉得你很有力量，你的手。
他们是完全免费的。
The sisters provided their assistance free of charge. I was extremely moved by their gestures. I told them that I'm good at fixing electronics, so if they need a hand, I will definitely offer my services for free.
I am so happy that Sister Felder is going home, but I will miss her terribly. I want to thank Sister Felder and tell her that she's like a mother to me.
Keeping Catholic doctrine and the spirit of giving close to heart, although unable to ride her motorbike after an accident, Sister Felder's footsteps in caring for her patients has never faltered.
Sister Felder still insists on providing her assistance regardless of her leg problems. She truly devotes herself selflessly to helping others. We are nuns, so it is our duty to serve others unconditionally.
Concerned about her age and deteriorating health, Sister Marie-Therese Felder decided to return to Switzerland because she doesn't want to be a burden. Although Sister Felder has returned home, her spirit of great love will remain in the hearts of those she has touched forever. After school, children happily arrive at the Chenggong branch of the Sisters of Mercy of the Holy Cross to do their homework or create artwork.
还有包什么？你们家的粽子。
The space used to be a clinic where Sister Marie-Therese Felder offered her services. Before the establishment of the healthcare system in Taiwan, local residents came here to receive treatment. Now this place has transformed into a classroom where children from less fortunate families can receive free tutoring services.
The teachers gave us mock exams to write, so our grades have improved significantly. I was so happy when I scored 90 on my exam. It was my first time receiving more than 90% on an exam.
More than 50% of the children here are taken care of by their grandparents or their mothers are foreign spouses. We have discovered that many families are struggling financially, so they don't have the extra income to pay for tutoring or cram school. We decided to provide a tutoring program free of charge.
With the assistance of the sisters and the foundation, children living in remote areas can bravely pursue their dreams.
I want to thank the sisters and teachers because they have given us a place to write our homework.
Knowing that education brings hope, the Sisters of Mercy of the Holy Cross has extended their services from medical care to education.
社会的需要就是天主的旨意。
God gave us the mission to help the less fortunate in society. Volunteers of the Tzu Foundation have been visiting us on a regular basis too. I believe together we can care for even more needy people in society.
In the years to come, the unconditional love of these sisters will continue to bring positive effects in the generations to come. Next, we take a look at a couple of new products which can make caring for disabled family members much easier.
Caring for the elderly or invalids can be very labor-intensive, especially when it comes to helping them get off the bed. Studies show that more than 80% of family caregivers in Taiwan suffer from constant muscle and joint pain from all the strenuous work they do. From lying down to sitting up to getting off the bed and then to the bathroom, each stage has to be broken down into many smaller steps. With advancements in technology, now a patient lying in bed can be lifted up easily, making the job of a caregiver so much easier. This overhead lift system from Denmark eliminates the risk of a caregiver injuring him or herself while lifting and can easily transport the patient along the installed rails.
A caregiver won't have to do any lifting. He or she just has to operate the remote control to safely lift a patient off from the bed and set him or her back down into a wheelchair.
Another convenient product is this automatic feces and urine management system, which eliminates the need for diaper change. Once strapped on the patient, the system will automatically detect the discharge of excrement and then proceed to suction and wash the patient's bottom. However, a unit is over $9,000.
The material is the same as the space diaper used on astronauts. Not only is it stain resistant, the texture feels just like our skin, so it's very comfortable.
Although these new products will surely make the life of a caregiver much easier, most families simply cannot afford these new inventions. Perhaps the government can come up with a solution for such disadvantaged families.
In the rural township of Fenyuan, located in Zhanghua, Taiwan, substitute military service officer Yang Zhehao, who's carrying out his service at the Wende Elementary School, has forged a good relationship with the students he teaches. After noticing that the school lacks stationery and basic supplies, he began an online campaign to solicit gift-filled shoe boxes for these needy children.
Using social media to promote the campaign, in the span of a month, 670 shoebox gifts were collected from all across Taiwan.
There are color papers, sketch pencils, and crayons for us to use.
Each individual shoe box is filled with different items such as socks, pencils, and gloves. The driving force behind this campaign is Yang Zhehao, a substitute military service officer currently carrying out his service in Wende Elementary School.
These shoe boxes will fill with stationery and other small items, which students may find useful. We hope these gifts can help boost the students' morale and keep them motivated to learn.
Serving in the rural countryside of Taiwan, Yang discovered that the schools here lack basic school supplies. Hence, he called on his fellow Army substitutes to support his campaign and help canvass gift-filled shoeboxes for needy children.
I was very happy after receiving this lunchbox because now I have something to carry my lunch in every day. We should be very grateful even though what we received may not be what we asked for. We shouldn't complain because we should cherish our blessings and be grateful. We want our students to know that this love came from all corners, so they should cherish these supplies. And if one day they have the means, they mustn't forget to give back to the community.
Cherishing their gifts, these children's hearts are beaming with deep gratitude.
We go back to Malaysia at the end of the show to meet a group of entrepreneurs who has put it aside their busy schedule to learn how to drum for the upcoming musical adaptation of the Water Repentance Sutra. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.